Hello everyone, welcome to Narayana IAS. I am Akhil Rajatnam. For today's daily news analysis, I have taken these topics. First one is from the Hindu editorial that is talking regarding Jammu Kashmir statehood. This one is talking regarding the Jammu Kashmir statehood. And another one is regarding Article 39B. Article 39B. It was in Hindu also, but I have taken a very good article from Indian Express, decades of dispute later. So now it has been sold. So another one is regarding the Indo-Canada diplomatic relations, but mostly we'll be focusing on the Khalistan issue here. Khalistan, what is the historical background of Khalistan? Again, how was it impacted the Indo-Canada diplomatic relations? And after that, this is actually a film snippet only. So we'll be discussing what is this dedicated freight corridor and which all dedicated freight corridors we have. So these are the topics for today's daily news analysis. So without further delay, let's move on to the first topic. So this is talking regarding the Jammu Kashmir statehood only. So this is a very important topic, especially from GS paper 2. GS paper 2. I am saying especially because even from internal security point of view also you can see this. Okay. So mostly I have taken what is actually the function of union and states regarding Article 3. All these things will be coming here. So Article 370 is there and also Jammu Kashmir statehood. So these are the focus areas which will be considering. So let's see a previous year questions on the same line. So this was asked in 2016. To what extent is Article 370 of Indian Constitution bearing marginal note temporary provision with respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir? Discuss the future prospect of this provision in context of Indian polity. This was asked in 2016. So let's see what is the context of this particular news. So context is the call for restoration of statehood for Jammu Kashmir has gained significant momentum, especially following the recent assembly elections. In 2024, elections were held in J&K, and here National Conference came victorious, and Omar Abdullah became the chief minister. And the resolution which he has adopted after coming into power is regarding the statehood for Jammu Kashmir. So that is one of the important resolutions which has adopted regarding statehood for Jammu Kashmir. So that is actually the context of this particular news. Now let's see why this Jammu Kashmir is important. What is the geopolitical or strategic importance of Jammu Kashmir? Let's see that. So J&K, the location is J&K is very important. So J&K is located at the northern edge of India. Making it a critical buffer zone. So why it is a critical buffer zone? Because we are bordering countries like one Pakistan, another one China. Jammu Kashmir is having borders with both these countries. So we are not having good relations with Pakistan. We are not having good relations with China. Obviously, Afghanistan is also coming here. So Afghanistan is also a very important part for India's military strategy. So that is why this is becoming a very important critical buffer zone. So that is location of Jammu Kashmir. Another one is the region is providing vital water resources that are critical for agriculture and hydropower. So what is the water resource here? This is Indus Basin. Jammu Kashmir is mostly in the Indus Basin. Indus and its tributaries are mostly flowing through this Jammu Kashmir area. So that is also very important. And also we even have a Indus Water Treaty of 1960, that too with Pakistan. So this is also a strategic agreement which we have signed with Pakistan, and again it was also it is mostly under controversy also. So that also make this region very much important. And also we have two important dams. One is Mangala Dam. These are very important points you can note for the prelims examination. One is Mangala Dam, another one is Tarbela Dam. Mangala Dam and Tarbela. So these are also very important dams in this area. When I am saying this, Indus doesn't mean that it is flowing only through this Indian Jammu Kashmir. It is flowing through the Pakistan area also. So for both countries, this region is very much important. And also, Jammu Kashmir is having this diverse population, including various ethnic as well as religious groups. So what are the important religious groups here? One is Hindu. Hindus are there, Muslims are there, Sikhs are there, even Christians are there. If you are going to the Ladakh region, we have Buddhists are also there. So many this region is inhabited by many religious groups, and also different ethnic groups are also there. Primarily Kashmiris are there, Dogris are there, Pathans are there, Paharis are there. So these are the important ethnic groups which are inhabiting in this particular region. So this is also another issue. Why? Because when there are many ethnic groups in one area, there are chances of religious conflict, religious or ethnic conflict in that area. So Jammu Kashmir has witnessed that problem also. Okay. Another important reason of problem is it has actually been a hotbed of militancy and terrorism. Why? Because it is proximate to Pakistan. So obviously ISI sponsored terror elements are also there. ISI's presence is very much felt in this Jammu Kashmir region. So these are the reasons why Jammu Kashmir is strategically as well as geopolitically important. Now let's see where all these issues have happened. What is actually the historical context of this particular issue? So historical, if you are checking the historical context, let's start with 1947 itself. Right after India got independence, October 1947, what happened? Jammu Kashmir ruler, he was Hari Singh. Maharaja Hari Singh. So he faced an invasion by the tribal militias in Pakistan. He faced an invasion by the tribal militias in Pakistan. So he was helpless. He didn't have that kind of an army which can actually resist this kind of invasion. So what he did is like he approached India. He approached India and he opted for India's help. So what India did? Okay, India said that okay, we will be helping you, but you have to join India. He said you have to join India. He said okay, fine, we'll join India, but he has some conditions. India accepted that, and that is known as instrument of accession. Instrument of accession. Instrument of accession. So Maharaja signed this instrument of accession on October 26, 1947, and he joined India. He joined India, and as per that, we have actually included something known as Article 370 in our Constitution. Article 370 in Indian Constitution. So these are the provisions related to Jammu Kashmir. These are the provisions related to Jammu Kashmir. But the key point is this was actually a temporary provision. This was added in the constitution itself. It is saying that this is actually a temporary provision regarding Jammu Kashmir. It is not meant to be a long term provision. So that was added to give Jammu Kashmir its own autonomy. So it granted Jammu Kashmir significant autonomy, requiring state for the Indian parliament laws to apply, state consent for the Indian laws to apply. For example, India is passing a law. India is passing a law regarding child rights. It will be automatically applicable for the entire country, but except Jammu Kashmir. So I'm talking about the earlier time period. So at that time, what this Jammu Kashmir state did is like they will be again giving the consent to that particular law. At that time, again it will be applicable. So this was actually a complicated process which was happening over period. So it granted Jammu Kashmir significant autonomy. Autonomy in which all areas? One, they had their own constitution. They had their own constitution. Which state in India is having their own constitution? Only Jammu Kashmir was having its own constitution. So they have their own legal framework. Another one regarding property rights. Regarding property rights, so they could define and they could regulate who are the owners, and even the inheritance rights were also being under the Jammu Kashmir state only. And also related to citizenship also, if you are a citizen of India, you are just a citizen of India, you are not the citizen of the state, but still citizenship criteria also Jammu Kashmir state could define the citizenship criteria also. And very importantly, they have control over the criminal law also. They had control over the criminal law also. In India, we were all under the control over IPC only. We were. Now IPC is not there, but still for that also Jammu Kashmir was having exception. Okay. So criminal justice system. So this is actually the historical context. So why Article 370 was removed? Now maybe you can easily guess why Article 370 was removed. So for that reasons it was removed. So the government wanted full integration of Jammu Kashmir into India. Why? Because no other state is having a different constitution. No other state is having a different constitution. No other state is having a different criminal justice system. So they want to ensure that Jammu Kashmir is in par with the other states. So that is why they wanted a full integration of Jammu Kashmir into India. Another thing is Article 370 was no longer justified by the current circumstances. Why? Because In constitution itself, it was written that this will be a temporary provision. This will be a temporary provision. So if it's a temporary provision, why we have to bear that for longer time period? So that is also another issue. So another thing, this abrogation was much needed to boost the economic development in that area. For example, take the example of Sojila tunnel. Take the example of Sojila tunnel. Sojila tunnel was recently inaugurated, so that will be connecting Srinagar with Leh. Srinagar with Leh. So these things were possible. The government is saying these things were possible because this Article 370 was scrapped. Another very important thing is rising militancy and terrorism. Rising militancy and terrorism. So what was our case in 2016? 2016 we had the Uri attack. Uri attack, and again at that same time we had the Pathankot attack. We had the Pathankot attack. Another important attack we had was the Pulwama attack. Pulwama attack. Okay. So these happened in Jammu Kashmir only. This happened in Jammu Kashmir only. Why? Because Jammu Kashmir was becoming a breeding ground of terrorism, and also this rising militancy among the, even especially among the youth, was also there. So that was also one reason which led to the removal of Article 370. Another one is, again, it enhanced the central control more. See, when the central government is passing a law, they expect it to be implemented all over India without any further process. So that in Jammu Kashmir, that was being hindered. So they wanted more central control, like how they are actually controlling the other states. So these were the reasons, important reasons why this Article 370 was removed. So now let's see what is actually the current political scenario in Jammu Kashmir. Current political scenario in Jammu Kashmir. So like I've already told, elections happened and national conference. National conference came into power. National conference came into power, and Omar Abdullah, son of the former Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah. So Omar Abdullah came to power. Omar Abdullah came to power, and National Conference is actually a regional party. Regional party means it's not a national party like BJP or Congress. So this is a regional party. So they will be looking for more autonomy. Whichever regional party comes to power, they'll be looking for more autonomy only. Same way, National Conference is also looking for more autonomy. So they adopted the resolution on statehood. So obviously their priority will be the advocating the statehood. Now, as of now, Jammu Kashmir is a union territory. Okay, union territory. In 2019, we passed the Jammu Kashmir Abrogation Act, and it became a union territory. And also, in this assembly election, there was a high voter turnout. High voter turnout means what? People believe in this election. People believe in this election. They want local governance to be implemented. So that is also a very important point. And also another, if you want another point, we can say that there are many cases in Supreme Court also regarding the abrogation of this Article 370, especially Omar Abdullah was Union of India. That is a very important case regarding this Jammu Kashmir. Alright, let's see what are the issues in granting this statehood. What are the issues in granting the statehood? One thing, increased unrest could destabilize a newly formed government. Obviously, this is a regional party only. So, that issue is also there. In 2016, similar kind of issue happened. 2016, Burhan Wani. Burhan Wani was a local militant. So, Burhan Wani was killed. Burhan Wani was killed by the army. So, that led to widespread protest in the Kashmir Valley. So, if we are granting statehood means again increased unrest will be happening. So central government is concerned about that. Another thing is concerns about J&K's economic readiness for self-governance. As of now, Jammu Kashmir is mostly relying on the tourism industry. Now it is going well because after granting it a union territory status, tourism was flourishing, and also this militant attacks were also very less. So more people were coming, became more safe. So if it is given statehood, the government fears that again what if it goes back to the same position. So that is also there. And also in 2019 and after this abrogation, many businesses were shut down. That issue is also there. Another thing, The restoring statehood involves complex legal issues related to abrogation of Article 370. As of now, a very popular case is Farooq Abdullah. Farooq Abdullah was Union of India. This case is going on in the court. So here many questions are raised regarding the Article 370 as well as the statehood. So again, more legal issues will be there, and also Article 3 also has to be invoked. So that is also there. Maintaining security may conflict with restoring the civil rights. A very good example will be shutting down of internet. Shutting down of internet. So security, for security reasons, many times we have shut down the internet in the valley. So that kind of issues are also there. So we have to address everything before granting statehood. These are the issues. Now what is the way forward? Way forward is establishing a statehood review committee. Statehood review committee. So who all should be part of this statehood review committee? Local leaders should be there. Legal experts should be there. Local leaders should be there. Legal experts should be there. And also, if we can involve people from the judiciary, that will also be possible. So it should be an inclusive committee. It should be an inclusive committee. It should not involve just state government alone or central government alone, but it should be an inclusive committee. And also we have to strengthen the local governance. What do you mean by local governance? State government is not part of the local governance. Basically this is urban and rural bodies. Urban and rural bodies like corporation, panchayat. So we have to strengthen the local governance, panchayati raj institutions as well as urban local bodies to ensure that the governance is happening in the grassroots level. Another thing is we have to enhance the security framework. Enhance the security framework. For example, civil liberties. Civil liberties like internet facility will be there, freedom of travel, all these things. We should not compromise by granting all these things. We should not compromise the security things also. Okay, so that should also be considered. Economic development initiative. Obviously, I have told regarding the Zojila tunnel, like the Zojila tunnel. So that is also a very good example. Another thing is commitment to human rights. There are many allegations that even army persons are also committing many human rights violation. Even if you go to Northeast also, you can see the examples like AFSPA and all you can see. So that kind of thing is also there. And also in 2019, after the abrogation of Article 370, what happened was like Jammu Kashmir's Human Rights Commission was abolished. Jammu Kashmir's Human Rights Commission ceased to exist. So that was also a very important problem regarding this Jammu Kashmir. And also we have to, so this has to be restored. Human Rights Commission has to be restored, and also we have to utilize the constitutional provision. For example, Article 3. Article 3. So Article 3, Article 1 to 4 is actually talking regarding the states only. So Article 3 is very important regarding granting statehood. So this has to be invoked if we want to grant the statehood, state status to Jammu Kashmir. So these are the way forward in this particular topic. A very important topic for mains perspective. Next, let's move on to another important topic. So this is talking regarding Article 39B. There was a recent SC judgment. So here we'll be talking regarding Article 39B, very important from both prelims as well as mains. In the mains, it will be coming under Indian Constitution, DPSP. Alright, so let's see a previous year question related to this. What is the position of right to property in India? A very direct question, it was asked in 2021. Okay, so this kind of questions can be asked. So let's move on to the context. What is the context? So in a significant legal ruling by a 9 bench, not a very small bench, it's a 9 judgment. So it's a landmark judgment of Supreme Court of India. So court addressed the interpretation of property and state's ability to redistribute private property under Article 39B. Under Article 39B. Okay, so this is the context of this particular news. So let's understand what is this Article 39B. Okay, so Article 39B, if you remember this number 39 and all, it will be coming under DPSP only. It will be coming under DPSP only. Directive Principles of State Policy. Directive Principles of State Policy, which is Part 4. which is coming under part 4 of Indian Constitution. Part 4 of Indian Constitution. So what is this article saying? This is exactly taken from the Constitution only. The state shall in particular direct its policy towards securing that ownership and control of material resources of the community are so distributed as best to subserve the common good. Okay. So what do you mean by material resources of the community? Material resource of the community. Okay, material resource can be anything. It can be land, it can be a library, it can be a railway track, whatever it be, that is known as a material resources. So material resources of the community are so distributed best to serve the common good. Best to serve the common good. So if you are acquiring a land from a person, if you are acquiring a land from a person, it should not be for some private leisure thing, it should be for the public good only. If you are acquiring my land, make sure that you are constructing the railway line. If you are acquiring my land, make sure that you are constructing a library for the common good. So that is the main provision in this article 39b. And what is the problem with this article 39? They are not justifiable. They are not justifiable. Not justifiable means what? If you go to the court, the court can actually deny it, because only fundamental rights are justifiable. If you are denied a fundamental right, you can directly go to the court. But if you are denied a DPSP, you cannot go to the court. Why? Because the government is, these are actually the advices given to the government. When you are in a position in which you can do it, at that time you can do it. It is not compulsorily, it need not be compulsorily do, but if you are doing it, well and good. Okay. So for that, you need not, a person, aggrieved person cannot go to the court and get the justice. So this is the problem with DPSPs. Alright, so let's see what are the past jurisprudence regarding this. So earlier the court had interpreted like that: the material resources of the community to include both public and private resources. Public means what? If it's a forest, it will be a public. For example, if you are acquiring my house, it is actually a private property only, right? So earlier the court has interpreted that it can be both public as well as private resources. That's what the court had interpreted earlier. So basically this was actually the basis for nationalization. Right? Many banks were nationalized. Air India was nationalized. Like that, many things were nationalized. So why? Because that this was actually the major provision dealing with this. So there is actually a very important case known as State of Karnataka vs. Sri Ranganatha Reddy case. State of Karnataka vs. Sri Ranganatha Reddy. Reddy case. So this was in 1977. 1977. So this is a very important case which has challenged this particular thing, and in there also the court said this only: material resource of community to include both private as well as public. Another important case was like Sanjeev Coke Manufacturing Company was Bharat Coking Coal Limited. So that is also another important case. It was there in 1982. Okay, so what is the difference? What is it? So this was a past jurisprudence. So what the court said now? So what is the difference between that statement as well as this statement? This is a recent case. In this case, Supreme Court. In this case, Property Owners Association with State of Maharashtra, 2024, said the rule that not all private property qualifies as a material source. Earlier it was like both private property as well as public property will be qualified to be used as a for material good. Now it is like not all private property. Not all private property qualifies as a material source. So now what is the problem now? The government cannot take it for granted. Government cannot say that, okay, let me acquire the property. That cannot be done as of now. But still, they said that no, not all property, but still they have not defined the property. Maybe through the time we will be knowing which all are there. So another important thing is we are focusing on economic democracy. Another word which court has used is economic democracy. Economic democracy. So why this court has said this? Because earlier we were using something known as socialist model, especially during the period of Nehru and all, we were using something known as socialist model, where the state will be catering to all the needs. State will be catering to all the needs. But now we are actually slowly after that. But still, technically, we were in a mixed economy only. Mixed economy means both socialism as well as capitalism will be coming. Okay, so this earlier we were more inclined towards socialism. After that, especially after LPG reforms in 1991 and all, we are slowly moving towards a capitalist or free trade economy. So there we are actually looking for economic democracy only. Economic democracy means it will be more in favor of the uh, individuals, more in favor of the individuals. Okay, why the court is saying this? Because the framers of the constitution, they were looking for economic democracy only and not a socialist approach. So that is actually the stand which was taken by the Supreme Court in this particular case, and it is considered as a very landmark judgment. Why? Because in earlier many cases we were saying that even public property can be acquired. So now this is actually a very huge shift from that. All right, next let's move on to another important topic. So this is regarding this was in the Hindu newspaper talking regarding the Indo-Canada diplomatic ties. All right, so UPSC relevance, obviously Indo-Canada relation will be there. So here Indo-Canada relation will be under GS paper 2, especially relation between the countries, and also we will be having this is very important in the internal security part. Internal security in GS paper 3. Why? Because we will be mostly discussing regarding Khalistan. We will be mostly discussing regarding Khalistan. So when we say Indo-Canada diplomatic relation, it is not going in a good way. Why? Because because of the Khalistan issue. So that is what we are going to discuss here. So let's see a previous year question. India's relation with Israel have of late acquired a depth and diversity which cannot be rolled back. Okay, so this was a 10-mark question which was asked in 2018. So let's see what is the context here. So India has accused Canada of providing a safe haven to Khalistani terrorists and sympathizers stemming for long-standing grievances. What is this long-standing grievances? Especially regarding the Air India bombing. Especially regarding the Air India bombing which happened in 1985. Okay, 1985 Air India bombing. So now also the Canadian government is not supporting, not giving much support regarding these things. And also Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he has alleged, he had alleged that Indian intelligence is involved in killing of people in Canada. Especially the person who was in the news is Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Okay, so he said, the Canadian Prime Minister said that also this is also there. Gurprat Singh Panu, another important case is also there. So these are Khalistani people who are supporters of Khalistani. So this Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is saying that Indian intelligence is involved in the killing or attempt to kill these people. So that is actually the context of this particular issue. So what is this Khalistani issue? Khalistan issue. What is Khalistan? Where is Khalistan? So Khalistan is actually a separatist movement. It is actually a separatist movement. They wanted to establish a Sikh state called as Khalistan. So where is the location of this Khalistan? In Punjab. In Punjab. So when I say Punjab, don't think that it is Indian Punjab alone. Okay, they want to carve a nation out of Indian Punjab. Not like that, because this is India. This is India. This is Pakistan. This is India. This is Pakistan. So this is Indian Punjab. This is Pakistan Punjab. So they want to take places from here. They want to take places from here. So combining both these things only, they want to make something known as Khalistan, or sometimes it is known as Sikhistan. Khalistan or Sikhistan. Khalistan or Sikhistan. So this the roots of this movement is actually going back even before independence. For example, Master Tara Singh, one person who was advocating this was Master Tara Singh. Tara Singh. So for people who were behind Jinnah, they got Pakistan. We got India. So for the Sikh people, even Ambedkar's concerns were also addressed. But for the Sikh people, their concerns were not addressed. That was Master Tara Singh's point. Okay, so even though that movement started even before independence itself, it gained momentum in 1970s and 80s. 1970s and 80s, this became a violent movement, especially among the students and all. It became a very violent movement. Okay, one important event regarding this is Operation Blue Star. A very important person is also there, Jarnail Singh Bhindranwala. Jarnail Singh Bhindranwala. Jarnail Singh Bhindranwala, he was actually a Khalistani terrorist. So he was taking refuge in the Golden Temple in Amritsar. He was taking refuge in the Golden Temple in Amritsar. So Indira Gandhi, at that time Indira Gandhi was a prime minister. So she ordered an operation known as Operation Blue Star, which aimed to remove these armed militants from the Golden Temple. So, but problem was like the army was able to capture all these things, but still it caused severe damages to the Harmandir Sahib or Golden Temple. So this hurt the Sikh sentiments, and later it led to the killing of our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi also. So that can be said as a movement where the Khalistani movement which reached its peak. Okay, so after that, what happened was like again many attacks were there against the Sikh people, and slowly this Khalistan movement also slowly subsided. But what happened was like there were Sikh diaspora, especially in Canada, UK, Australia, US also it is there, but still in Canada, Canada is said to be the one of the major populations in Canada is the Sikh people. So they supported this Khalistani movement from abroad itself. So that is actually causing a issue. Now also, if you look into this Canadian news, what you can see is like there are people who are protesting against India. Even Gurpat One Singh Panu, he filed a case against our national security advisor Ajit Doval. So like that, many issues are happening between India as well as Canada regarding the Khalistan. Okay. All right. So what are the concerns? What are the concerns we have in this particular issue? One is impact on India-Canada FTA. Impact on India-Canada FTA. So we are actually looking for something known as SEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. So this has been stalled. We were actually in these discussions were happening, but this has been stalled for for a long time, especially because of this Khalistan issue. Another thing is impact on the trade relation. Canada contributes about 1% of India's trade, especially supplying critical items like 25% of the pulses and 5% of the fertilizers. Canada is actually the 17th largest foreign investor in India. 17th largest foreign investor in India. So this is affecting. So 17th is not a small number. So this is also affecting India-Canada relation. Another thing is impact on Canadian investment in India. This much investment in they are having 3.94 million investment. 3.94 million investment is also there. Another important thing is impact on the Indian remittances. I told like Canada is having a lot of Sikh diaspora. So they will be providing remittance to India. So that is also going to be hit hard. Another thing is the students who want to study in Canada. Students go and study in Canada. So they sometimes they will be looking for PR and all. So at that time also with friendly countries it will be easy. So with countries which are not friendly it will be difficult. So these kind of issues are also there. Okay. So let's see what is the way forward in this thing. Way forward. One is strengthening the diplomatic engagement. So how can we strengthen the diplomatic engagement? High level meetings. High level meetings. So what do you mean by high level meetings? High level meetings in the minister level meetings and all, we call it a high level meeting. The Prime Minister of India can meet Prime Minister of Canada. Narendra Modi can meet Prime Minister of Canada Justin Trudeau, and also foreign ministers. Jaishankar, we have Jaishankar, so he can meet the Prime Ministers or the foreign ministers. So that kind of high level meeting should be happening. Another thing is fostering economic cooperation development, especially the SEPA. SEPA as well as other free trade agreements are also there. So that should also be fostered. Another thing is addressing the Khalistani concerns. Okay, they are also having some concerns. Even the normal Sikh diaspora, the people who are not involved in this, so these Khalistani people, they are trying to convince them also. So these things should also be concerned. So for that we need to constructively engage them, and also engaging the Sikh diaspora in Canada and all. There are many Sikh community leaders are there. So if we are able to involve them also in the discussion, they'll be helping to be a bridge between India as well as this people who are what working for the Khalistan. So that will also help. Okay, so these kind of things can be utilized. All right, so that's it regarding India Canada issue. Next one, dedicated freight corridor. So this was a news how dedicated freight corridors are adding to the GDP growth, boosting the rail revenue. So we'll see what is a dedicated freight corridor. This was a context. So what is actually the issue with the normal freight? Freight means good service only. So for what is actually the normal problem with the normal freight issue? Usually you might be going in the trains and all. So at that time you might have seen this goods trains. Sometimes it will be stalled only. Stalled only. Why? Because the passenger trains are given more priority. Passenger trains are given more priority means we have Indian railway network is very huge. Okay, so at every point these good trains have to be stalled. So that is actually affecting the movement of goods in our country. So to avoid that, what we will be doing, we will be introducing specialized rail network. We'll be introducing specialized rail network that will be solely for the transport of freight. As of now, these freight trains are using our passenger rail track. So that will be avoided, and these kind of separate freight corridors will be there. Okay, so this separation allows for faster, more efficient and uninterrupted movement of the goods. So what is the advantage of that? Exports will become more better, industrial production will be improved. Even sometimes, even rare cases, the passenger trains, normal low level passenger trains, they are also stalled for this goods train. So passengers are also not affected. So all these things will be smoothly done if we have a dedicated corridor just for carrying the freight along. Okay, so that is dedicated for freight corridors or DFC. So we'll see which all are the DFCs in India and who is managing this. So who is managing this? Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited. Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited. So they are actually developing this corridors. Most important one is Western Dedicated Freight Corridor, another one is Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor. Okay, here you can see from here itself what is actually the expanse of this. So this is the Western Corridor, that is starting from Dadri, and it is ending in the JNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust in Mumbai. So this is the Western Freight Corridor. Okay, Eastern Freight Corridor, it is starting from Ludhiana in Punjab, and it is going till Dankuni in West Bengal. Ludhiana in Punjab to Dankuni in West Bengal. This one Dadri in Delhi to JNPT in Mumbai. So these are the two dedicated freight corridors we have, and Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited is dealing with. They are actually developing this dedicated freight corridors. Okay, so this was a prelim snippet. So now let's move on to the prelims practice questions. First one, which of the following statement is are correct regarding Article 39B of Indian Constitution? Article 39B is part of directive principles of state policy and mandates the state to ensure that material resources are distributed to serve the common good. Okay, so Article 39, it is actually part of the directive principles and it mandates state to ensure that material goods are distributed to serve the common good. Very general statement. It was directly said in the that constitutional provision itself. Provisions of Article 39 are justiciable, allowing individuals to seek enforcement in a court of law. So what are they saying here? They are justiciable. No, because they are part of the DPSP. So if something is part of DPSP, it is not justiciable. So this is wrong. Okay. Next statement, Article 39B prioritizes individual property rights over social welfare in distribution of resources. So they are talking about the constitutional provision only. So if the constitutional provision prioritizes individual property right, means why we need this kind of judgment. So this is also wrong statement. Okay. So article reflects the constitutional intent to balance individual rights with the need of the community. That was again said in the, that's actually general statement. So the correct answer is 1 and 4. 1 and 4 is the correct answer, 2 and 3 are wrong. Okay. Alright, next one. We'll see a mains practice question. Discuss the issues in granting statehood to Jammu and Kashmir and propose a way forward for its registration. Very simple question. So we can briefly introduce what is actually the historical context of this Jammu Kashmir issue and how this Article 379 came, and this governance also. How maybe we can include this year's election. That in that way also you can start. So what is asked here? One is regarding the issues in granting statehood only. Security reasons are there, even militant activities are happening. You can even involve the, you can include the involvement of Pakistan. So all these things also we can include. Again, what is the political stability, potential understand challenges in forming the stable government. Also economic thing also you can say, tussle between central and state control, that is also there. Earlier state was having more control, now central government is asserting more control. Public sentiment, because the people will be having diverse opinion regarding this, so that also has to be. So these are the major issues in granting the statehood. Next, what is the way forward? How we can rectify it? One I've already mentioned. Statehood review committee should be there. It should be having legal experts should be there. Local people should be there. Regional parties should be there, and also ruling parties should be there. Strengthening the local governance, urban local bodies as well as Panchayati Raj institution, that also has to be strengthened. Engagement and consultation. More public engagement, their opinion should also be taken. Human rights, security and human rights, like 2019 state human rights commission was ceased to exist, so that thing also has to be there. And also constitutional provisions like article 3 has to be involved. Okay, so that is, can say in the way forward, and you can conclude it. You can conclude it by saying that what is actually, what are the advantages of having the political stability. Maybe you can include the examples of tourism, all these things you can include and write a positive conclusion. Okay, one more question. Next one. The recent diplomatic tensions between India and Canada reflect deeper complexities in bilateral relations. Analyze the significance of India-Canada ties and suggest a way forward to address the current challenges. Okay. So here we have to, in introduction we can say what is actually the shared values between India and Canada. You can even go to the historical context also, even diaspora, Sikh diaspora you can mention, cultural ties you can mention. So these things, or maybe with some statistics, you can introduce this topic. Okay. Going to the body, you can say what is the significance of this India Canada relation. Significance means it can be economic partnership will be there, strategic partnership will be there, and also diaspora partnership will be there. So these kind of various levels, even educational cooperation like students going and studying in Canada, see that kind of dimension also you can give here. So like that way you can say this body, even including the SEPA is also a very good example. Next one, what are the current challenges and what are the diplomatic followed? Here you have to mention what is actually happening now. For example, the Prime Minister's alleged that Indian intelligence agency is involved in the killings. These kind of things you can mention here. And also even the historical part also you can mention, like Air India bombings 1985. So Canada is not supporting us for. So that kind of things also we can mention here. After that, a way forward, what we can do for strengthening. First of all, this is something which you can write for almost all the countries. A high level meeting should be happening between whichever country. For example, if it's a country in diplomatic tussle, means it has to be high level meetings. If the Prime Minister go and visit the other Prime Minister, then this will be giving a strong message. So that kind of things you can mention. The stalled discussion that has to be restarted, collaboration has to be done in security level, diaspora level. These things also you can mention. Okay. All right. After that, you can give a very positive conclusion, like how important India and Canada relation are, that you can mention, and also how we can resolve all these issues also. In short, you can mention here. Okay. All right. So that's it for today's daily news analysis. So hope you have understood all these topics and what are the dimensions you have to cover from UPSC point of view in this particular session. So thank you so much. That's it for today.